Well, here we are in week 11. Can you believe it? How did that happen? It seems like the semester has just flown by faster than the speed of academia. Once again, our week 10 discussion was quite wonderful. By the way, I am noticing that you have created a wonderful culture in your forums. It's consistently supportive, and um, and often you challenge each other to further your ideas, asking pertinent questions, um, and the um, depth of your original posts um, are quite wonderful. Also inspiring meaningful conversation about the ideas that you present. So if I had a hat on, I'd take it off to you. Um, so two questions, and both excellent questions. The fussy child question, there seems to be consensus that the child's needs are first. And I'm with you on that one because the child doesn't have any idea um, about the context, um, the importance of the job. Child has not taken a course in economics yet. Um, a 2-year-old is only aware of what she is experiencing in the moment. And if she's experiencing discomfort, that's all that's going on in her world. Remember that she is the center of her universe. And it is very helpful for her. Uh-oh, here comes Etta. Hi, Etta. It's very helpful for her. Etta apparently agrees. It's very helpful for her to know that she is the center of your universe as well. So the more you can be responsive to her when she expresses a need, the better. Because this will increase her sense of self-esteem. Several of you made the point that it was also useful sometimes for her to learn how to soothe herself. And as you said, when she's falling off to sleep is a very good opportunity for that. But when she's in pain, although most of us don't remember what the pain of teething is like, when she's in pain, she is literally overwhelmed by that discomfort. And so that is not a time to let her figure out how to soothe herself. As some of you pointed out, it is also not a time when she is likely to be distracted by the television. Um, and the ice cream very well could end up on the other side of the room. As a couple of people pointed out also, um, while there are very few, if any, parents in the universe who have not attempted bribery at one point or another, it is indeed a way of reinforcing the behavior that immediately precedes it. So that's probably not what you want to do. High-pitched screaming is nobody's favorite. Um, let's see. Oh, another thing that I was thinking about toddlers related to the second question about how would you find an educational way to play with them is that play is the toddler's job. The toddler is playing continuously, and continuously trying to um, uh, seek new challenges at new levels of complexity. So actually, this 2-year-old is the consummate scientist, um, trying to figure out how her body works and the limits, which often leads to a couple of ouch moments. And she's trying to figure out um, the limits of what those Lincoln Logs can do, what those blocks can do. Um, she's trying to figure out how hard she can squeeze those little creatures in the tide pools before they start behaving differently. And all of this is completely normative for 2-year-olds. One thing that some parents do mistakenly is to take the 2-year-old's efforts at exploring and testing boundaries as defiance, and then to meet those with discipline or irritation. The unfortunate consequence of that is that the child will not only suffer in terms of self-esteem, but also in terms of confidence to try new things in the future, and in terms of a sort of internal locus of control, or hope that if she tries something new, she will be successful. If you make her choose between getting your approval and exploring the world, she will probably give up on exploring the world just to get your approval. But that's a choice you really don't want her to have to make. Another thing with toddlers is that play is the way that they learn. Parenthetically, play is the way that all of us learn. My definition of play is experimental behavior without negative consequences, and it's fun for everyone involved. When it stops being fun, then it's not play anymore. As some of you mentioned, when you play and experiment together with your puppy or your 2-year-old, then what happens is you are making use of that secure attachment that you have hopefully already established with your 2-year-old, and that secure attachment, it has become a protected environment in which the 2-year-old can practice. So playing with your child is very helpful. As other people pointed out, it's also very helpful to allow your 2-year-old some private time, although this will probably not last more than a few minutes. But in any case, some private time to create their own world of play. Let's see. Another thing I was thinking is that the difference between you and either a fussy 2-year-old or a playful, experimenting 2-year-old, the difference between parent and child is that the parent has more alternatives. And so if one thing isn't working, try something else. Remember, the child is completely immersed in her own reality, and she is not likely to be able to think, this isn't working, I think I'll try something else. She's more likely to be frustrated and maybe even have a mini or a grand tantrum when something doesn't work, or even throw it across the room. So remember that you as a parent have more alternatives, and you can, if one thing isn't working, come up with something else. I want to tell you a little story about my daughter, Heather. Um, all children depend on strong positive relationship with an adult in order to feel safe enough to learn and experiment. But some kids depend on this more than others. And as an only child, Heather was very much in need of a teacher in school or preschool who appreciated and affirmed her efforts to play. Well, in first grade, Heather was not one of her favorites, and it was really very painful. Of course, at age 5, she could experience and express this more clearly than a 2-year-old. But even for a 2-year-old, it is quite disturbing if the child doesn't feel that the adult is taking joy in who she is and what she's experimenting with. So, on a housekeeping note, one thing that I would remind you about in terms of our netiquette is to carefully proofread your posts so that your message sent is the message received, so that people can easily understand what you're trying to say, and so they don't have to stumble over minor errors. That I think would be very helpful for everyone. So carry on and let me know if you have any questions whatsoever, and I will see you again soon.